I was talking with one of my best friends last night, and I was telling him about how Hudson Taylor had gone into China to spread the gospel there into the inland of China. And I was telling him how at one of the meetings that he was preaching at, there was a man who stood up and said that he now believed that he had heard the truth, and that in all his years of being a Buddhist, that he was never satisfied that he had heard the truth. And he had been searching for the truth for 20 years and had finally heard it. And so this man became a believer in Christ. And I believe it was the next day he was with Hudson Taylor, and he asked him, because Hudson Taylor was from uh, England, and he asked Taylor how long that the people in his country had known the truth of Christ. And Hudson Taylor told him that it had been for several hundred years at that point. And the man looked at him and said, "What?" And he then told Taylor that his father had died searching for the truth. He had been searching for the truth for a good part of his life and died never having heard it. And he asked Taylor why it was just, it was just then that they were coming to tell his people um, about Jesus. Why did they wait so long? And I was telling my friend how this man, knew that his father, who had died not knowing the truth, never having heard about Christ when he could have, was now in hell. And my friend then, said, "Well, I don't think he was in hell. God wouldn't do that to somebody. God knows what he's doing." And then the point that I really tried to make was that there is no way for man to enter into God's kingdom without knowing Christ. There is no way. There is no other way. And Jesus himself said, "No man comes to the Father but by me." And that if there were some other way for man to enter into God's kingdom, then Christ died for nothing. And other than that, it says, or Jesus said in John 3:18, yeah, 3:18. Well, let's start at 3:16. He says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life." Verse 17 says, "For God sent his Son into the world." For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. And then verse 18 says, "He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God." And that's the issue. That's the point, is that Jesus came into the world because we were all condemned already. We were already damned. We were already going to hell, and we deserved it. This is what we deserve. This is God's just punishment and the just demonstration of his wrath on our sin and our sinful state. Okay? It's not an issue of, oh, it's not fair that someone, somewhere on earth never had a chance to hear about Jesus and thus be saved. It's not deserving. If you want to talk about deserving, okay, we sinned against God. We deserve his wrath. But God sending his son to be a sacrifice for us is a gift. It's not what we deserved. It's not even just because we needed it. Okay, God would have been completely justified had he just turned his back on man, just let us go, thrown us away, and just let us go our course, okay, into his wrath. But it's because he wanted to save us. It's because it's what he wanted to do for his pleasure, for his purpose, because he loved us. It's because of his love that he made a way to bring us back to himself. And he made that way through his son, Jesus Christ. So it's a gift.